Welcome, goslings!
Hello, goslings!
Hello, goslings.
Hello. I can't tell if they can hear us or not.
I don't know, we hope so.
Me turning up the volume isn't gonna
It's
help.
not gonna help. It's not how technology
Anyone
works.
out there? Oh, hello, friends. We are just in the holiday spirit. We're totally drinking hot cocoa.
We're very cozy today. We're very cute.
It's just water.
And the lines are falling apart.
I'm so sorry it looks like midnight in our office. It's 2 p.m. and the sun's already down.
Yeah.
Happy solstice!
Yay!
Yay! So we're sitting here today, so excited to bring you this very solstice episode of Hot Goss that I have affectionately titled Mistle NO!
It's such a good bad joke.
Which Oronde hates.
Like, alternatively, like flash between hating it and loving it.
Thank you so much. Well, and we're talking about mistletoe, etc., because we want to deconstruct holiday cheer and talk a little bit about the social pressures that we all feel around the holidays.
Like, because it's dark outside, we're gonna take this cheerful thing and make it dark.
Here. And so it is like no surprise to anyone that the holidays are a stressful time. And I kind of want to know why people feel so much pressure around the holidays.
Good question.
Yeah.
I think that holidays, I think there's lots of pieces to it. And I think that a lot of it loops around to, there's a lot of narratives that I think are forced on people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, are you not Christian? Like, sorry, there's gonna be constant reminders that, like, this time of year isn't for you with, like, Christmas around. Are you, do you have, like, a complicated family relationship? Or you, like, lost someone? Like,
Yeah.
sorry, because there's gonna be, like, a lot of, like, ads and media all showing, like, perfect, complete, intact families. Are you single, right? Like, it's like there's like all this pressure to like be with someone and like have this like picture perfect ad moments of like your partner opening their gift and loving it and looking at you with like doughy eyes. And,
Like I've almost been sent into a panic attack just talking about it. I'm not even single, but I'm like.
Yeah, so I think there's like a lot of narratives that like we don't realize are sold to us in this time of year, but like they are, and if any of those don't feel right to you or like don't apply to you, like it kind of makes you like evaluate things in a weird way.
Yeah, so then like given that all of those pressures around the holiday, like what do the holidays put, like what kind of pressure do the holidays put on like dating, but also like social life?
Well, so I think I was like starting to touch on it and then just like stopped. I think. So like New Year's is a good example, right? Like I think that like there's all this pressure to kiss someone on New Year's, which is like fine, but also like makes you feel like you have to have someone.
Yeah.
Or Christmas, right? Like that's mistletoe. That like having a mistletoe around is like good and fun and like could just be decoration, but also like you feel like, oh crap, now I gotta kiss people, and then like, it creates like this weird narrative. Like this is a time of year where there's so many holiday parties, and it's like I might just be like grumpy because the sun is gone and like don't want to go to this holiday party, but like gotta go and like put my best face on and like have more eggnog, and it's, you know, it's like the 5th party event of that week, and like that's all just a lot. It can be really exhausting.
It feels like there's a lot of like expectation is the word that comes to mind. Like there's this expectation that like you're gonna go to the holiday party and someone's gonna get really crazy and like is it gonna be you?
Yeah.
Or you know, I just got in a fight with my partner about this, but like everything has to be like perfect and twinkly, and like there's this expectation that like the holidays will feel extra special. And I'm like, where in relationships do expectations also like play out sometimes to the detriment of that relationship?
Well, it's weird, right? Because I think that like, expectations aren't necessarily a bad thing, right? And so like you expect your partner to like be nice to you and to like value and respect you. Like those things are good, right? Like some expectations I think are like baselines. But I think expectations can become tricky when like you're not communicating them with your partner, right? And like you haven't like fully realized them for yourself and for them. And so like literally everything in the corner just fell over.
The city is flooding. Things are just falling off of our walls. I expect Christmas is going to be great this year.
But so for example, right, like if you have a holiday party coming up and it's really important for you that your partner be there,
right?
But you've never told them that, right? And so like they made plans to go do something else. Like now it's like you guys are in a fight and it's this whole big deal, and it's like this could have been avoided if like you didn't assume that they knew your expectation. You actually talked about your expectation.
Yeah, that sort of like plays into like gift giving a little bit too. Like I feel like that puts a lot of strain on people during the holidays of like who expects me to get a gift, like what, and if we just like talked about what reciprocity looked like in the holidays, like we might stop arguing with each other.
Yeah, or like not feel it's like kind of crushing pressure and anxiety about like, oh crap, because like there's also that thing with gift giving too of like, am I spending enough money, right? And so like someone gives you a thing and you're like, oh shit, well now I need to like go and buy, and I've done that, right? Like waited to like see like what did this person get me before I like know what to buy them, and it's like that's gross. Just like have a conversation about it.
Well, and if you're newly dating, especially around like the holidays, but like any sort of like holiday where like gift giving is such a thing, like I think the act of giving someone a gift often creates this pressure to like behave in a way that might not actually be genuine to how you feel about a person. Or like if someone gives you a present for Valentine's Day or like for Christmas, you might be like, oh, do I like have to continue going on dates with you? And like that could get into like coercive territory really quickly. Yeah. Oh man, there's so much. There's just so much. I want to return to your point about mistletoe.
Oh, heard.
Can you like deconstruct mistletoe for me?
Tear it down.
tear the mistletoe from the ceiling. Like what?
Is there anything in specific or just like talk?
Just like what is up with mistletoe and how do we as consent educators feel?
Yeah, so I think that like mistletoe isn't inherently bad, right? Like mistletoe, like it's like
an herb.
It's a plant. It's like it is fine. I think that like there's weird, again, like expectations around it, right? That like, oh, the mistletoe's hanging out, like you're at a party and someone's like, oh, you two are under the mistletoe, kiss. And it's like it's fun and lighthearted, but it also creates a dynamic that like, what if those two people don't want to kiss, right? And like, and then they feel like, oh, we're being bad sports without the spirit if we don't do it. And it's like, no, you just shouldn't kiss people when you're not excited about kissing them.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, there's been a lot of talk recently, especially around the holidays, about like, you know, songs that are PC and like things like, and so I think there is this desire to preserve tradition. Like,
I can't read it. I'm like, what does that say?
Ellen Mock says mistletoe is poisonous.
Oh, did not know that. It's toxic to culture and bodies.
It's toxic to consent and toxic to your tummy. But there is this sort of like nostalgia around Christmas and this desire to like, and the holidays, to keep tradition. And so I'm wondering, okay, if people like mistletoe, even if it's poisonous to many things, like are there ways, like can you think of creatively ways to rewrite that tradition?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, first things first, right? You can creatively rewrite it by just throwing it in the trash, right? And so like you don't have to do any tradition.
We know what camp I'm in.
So I think first things first, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
But I think like if you do for whatever reason want it, I think then like you're having a party, like tell your guests, right? Just like be like, guys, this is just decoration. Or like you can like have like
I love that.
Yeah, or you can have like fun cutesy signs around that are like just ask, or like make kind of like fun consenty puns, you know, like and like have them around, you know, like it doesn't have to be a burden where you're like defining consent on like a plaque on the wall. I think
the whole book.
It's like I think it's like you want to jingle balls, ask first. Like, I don't know. I'm not the fun one. You're the fun one. And so like think of some.
We have to delete this internet video forever.
So you think of a fun pun, or like if you're a crafty person, like I think you can like make it a game or something, right?
Oh,
and
go
so like,
on.
so I think like if you like to like get pins of some sort, or like get actual mistletoe or whatever, and like write up rules, right? And be like, cool, like if a person's wearing this, then that means that they like are interested in having a conversation about maybe kissing under the mistletoe, and if not, then like they don't want to have a conversation, and knowing that like you still have to get consent, you can't just kiss someone, but like this is a person that might be open to having that conversation with me. And ooh, I am a pun guy. I got a pun. Ready?
I'm so
you
ready.
call it Mistle Go or Mistle No. Under the mistletoe. Redeemed myself. Here, someone said something. I'm gonna try to read
your
it.
friend Laura.
What's the new version? That old rules persist. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So like these are even conversations that like kids are sort of attuned to,
Which
that
is
we can like
fascinating.
have with our kids about like this is the tradition of mistletoe. isn't it kind of strange? Like, I love that Laura's like, I'm assuming what 15, 16-year-old son was like, this seems a little weird.
Well, and it's fascinating too, because it's like it's something that all of us are aware of, or many of us are aware of, and like apparently from an early age, and it's like, but we don't talk about it, we don't challenge it. That's why part of me is like, just throw the mistletoe out, right? Like, you don't have to have it. But I think that like people want to explore these things, and I think that we just haven't thought of looking at them critically, like by and large.
Right, so. And it kind of brings it back to the episodes we were doing about like pop culture and critiquing pop culture, and like a lot of times traditions can be used as a platform to explore some of these conversations, and so like maybe we throw the mistletoe out, but like maybe it's a venue to like actually have an accessible conversation about consent. What does this person say?
Oh, 13-year-old.
13. Oh, wow.
That's
so like
awesome.
Middle school age kids are even sort of like aware of the dynamics that this like antiquated tradition is presenting, which is like really interesting. Maybe we could learn some stuff from the insightful 13-year-olds in our lives. Along those lines, speaking of like parties and things like that, social pressure, I'm thinking about like how in the holidays can you be a good host or a good friend so that you sort of set up a situation where like people can have fun without that expectation.
That's a really good question.
Like, what can you do?
I think that as a host, right, that like a hosting is a really special role because you like are holding space for a lot of different people, right? You're like inviting them into whatever the space is, right? And like kind of the one that's caring for them in this like, weird way. So I think that like that's a lot of pressure and a lot of responsibility, right? And so I think first things first, acknowledge that like you're not going to make a perfect space for every person, and like that's okay. But like it's also really important to like try and like respect the power of that role. So I, for example, like, I know that like when I'm throwing a party, I try to think of like who are the people there, and like what would make them feel comfortable, and who I know they need out of the space, right? And so if you know that you have some friends that get like socially overwhelmed, I always try to like have like a separate space that's like more chill, right? And so like if you, and that's not always possible for space, right? But like trying to figure out like, all right, if I have this room that like has like snacks and like chill music and like low lights, and like this other room that's like, that's where the party is, right? Like that's like the raging part. If it's all just like one space, I think being really clear with people that are coming about like what's going to happen and like on what timeline, right? And so like being like, cool, we're gonna have like dinner and cocktails from like 7 to 9, and then like as soon as 9:30 hits, I'm gonna turn on the music, we're gonna start twerking, right? And so like, and like letting people know ahead of time so they know like, cool, I want to be a part of this, and I don't want to be a part of this other thing.
I love that a lot. But I want to go to an Oronde Kruger party. It feels like a very safe and fun place.
So I think that, and then I think as
a friend.
Yeah, I think as a friend. I think that, actually, I'm gonna say one more thing, because I think like this works as friend and host. I think like being like, because like, if you're at a party where you like don't necessarily know everyone, or if you just like are there as a guest, I think just being aware of what's happening, right? Just like talking to people and like not just be like, hey, how are you? How are things? Like, how are you enjoying the party, right? Like what's going on tonight? Because I think that it's really easy to just get in this mindset of like, I'm here to have fun, everyone's here to have fun, but like it's hard when you know everyone's supposed to be having fun and you're not having fun, right? And it's like if no one makes space for you to be able to say that, you're probably not going to say it. And so I think it's like really good to like ask the question. So like leaning more into like how as a friend, a guest. I also think that like having intentions instead of like expectations are like helpful, right? And so I think that, like, and like I think there's power in naming your intention for the day or for the night or for the event. And so I think, for example, like going into a party and like expecting to like grind with someone that's hot is like gross and icky, right? Because it's depends on someone else and their body, which is unfair.
You're like making an assumption that like that person wants to grind with you.
Yeah, and like that's not super helpful. And it also like it leaves a lot of room for you to be really disappointed if it doesn't happen, right? Whereas like the intention of like, I just want to go and have a blast, or like I want to go and just like dance really wildly and just like have fun. That's different because it's like you acknowledge like that might not happen, but like I really want it to happen, and like it doesn't quite hurt as much if it doesn't happen. And it also is entirely based on like you and what you want and what you're gonna do for the night, and not necessarily making assumptions for other people and their bodies and their actions.
That makes a lot. I just did this for my high school reunion over Thanksgiving. It's my 10-year reunion, a lot of pressure. And like my friends were all like, we could all like, there was like visible tension in the Uber on the way there. And we were just like, ooh. And I was was like, what if we all went around and named our intentions? And everyone was like, what happened to you in 10 years, you hippie? But it like really helped for a lot of people. Like, I just want to have fun, or like, I want to catch up with this one person, or like, I want to just have a good conversation. Like, naming those intentions, you could feel the tension in the car, all those nerves about like what we wanted to happen on the night, or how we wanted people to perceive us, and kind of like evaporated a little bit, because we were like, oh, at the end of the day, like, we just want to like have a good time for ourselves, and like that's gonna make it more fun for us.
And it's helpful to know what good time means for you, you know, and like naming your intention helps you to define for yourself, like, oh, this is what my standard is for the night.
So like that's a really good transition into thinking. So we've talked about like how to be a good host, how to like build space, da 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 da. So then what do you do for yourself about these like holiday expectations? How do we like quell those? In addition to naming our intentions, like what are other things that we might be able to do around like tense situations? Yeah.
I think like in short, like be gentle with yourself, right? I think that like there's so much, so looping back, so much about this is expectations.
Yeah.
And I think that like it's okay, right? Like whatever the thing is, right? And so like remember that like the holidays are just any other set of days, right? Like it's like there's nothing that really makes it any different.
Yeah.
I think that we sometimes put a lot of pressure on ourselves to like make it the best time. So like I hate New Year's. It's like not my favorite holiday.
So much.
There's so much pressure to have fun, to like make the end of the year really good and the beginning of the new year really good. And all that frantic pressure, like it, like how do you decide what to do? How do you decide what's the perfect ending for a year? And I think that I hated it until I was like, oh, it just doesn't matter. It's like any other year, right? So like I'll do whatever I want to do that day, like what feels nice, and that's okay. And so along with that, be gentle with yourself. Like if you're feeling lonely or you're feeling sad or feeling any of those things, like it's okay. Like and any other day that you're feeling that, like you probably let yourself feel it, and so just let it happen. Like you can meet someone on any day, you can feel lonely on any day. Like, it doesn't matter.
Just because you're single on January 1st doesn't mean you're gonna be single forever or what have you.
And so I think like that's fine, right? And like that helps like rewrite some of that pressure about like, oh, I have to hook up with someone today. And it's like, you don't have to hook up, you don't have to kiss anyone at midnight, because I think that that's, do you want to start your year with like regret, right? Or like, or like feeling icky and be like, oh, I did this thing, but like, because I felt like I had to. Like, no, like just start your year with like feeling awesome about like, I did this thing that was really fun. I had this intention of like what I wanted for the night, and do that. And like that might be making out with a stranger. Cool, more power to you. But it might also be like staying home for the night, or
falling asleep at 11:30.
So
I love that. I feel like that is a great place to end our special cozy holiday special. I'd love to.
Oh, heart emojis. I don't know who hearted us, but thank you.
The computer's so far away.
It's literally forever away. I'm so glad.
Well, I hope that folks are traveling safely wherever you're going at the end of the year. If you're staying home, be gentle with yourself. Name your intentions for your holiday parties and your new year, and tune into Hot Goss in January.
The new year.
Yeah, we just mapped out our intentions for all of our episodes in 2019, and there is some juicy,
some fun ones,
sexy stuff coming for you in 2019.
It's literally about juice.
You're not allowed to make puns anymore. Go hang up the phone.
Bye, goslings.